black tie brawl on a cruise ship, we are going to talk about this latest current event story that involves a very public brawl. This Etiquette author is going to respond. Welcome back to the Daily Connoisseur. My name is Jennifer, and if you're new here, I am the author of the Madame Chic series. My third book in the series, Polish Your Poise with Madame Chic, is largely about etiquette, and I have another book on etiquette coming out in the fall called Connoisseur Kids. So I love the subject of etiquette, and I often do these current event stories to just highlight what's going on in our society and how it relates to etiquette, how proper etiquette can help a lot of these situations. If you haven't seen my last current events video, I discussed the Disneyland brawl that went viral. Well, I am sad to say that there is another brawl that has made the news today. This one doesn't have a video for it. That's probably a good thing, but it's in all the major news outlets, and I woke up to it this morning. So let's get right into it. I'm reading from Newsweek right now, but this has also been featured on the BBC and the Daily Mail and all the major news outlets. So it says, passenger dressed as clown sparks fight among passengers on a cruise ship. But let's get a little bit more into the story. 6 people were injured following a fight on a cruise ship, a confrontation that was reportedly sparked by a passenger arriving to a black tie dinner dressed as a clown. Okay. I know that I shouldn't be laughing. The fight broke out in the early hours on Friday morning aboard P&O Cruises Britannia as it returned from a week-long cruise in Norway. According to The Guardian, 3 men and 3 women were injured in the fight, though the extent of the injuries was not clear. One of the injured is believed to be a ship staff member, the newspaper said. Another ship crew member, who requested that she not be named when speaking to The Telegraph, said that the clown's arrival to the formal event seemed to upset some other passengers. Things got out of hand very quickly. People had been drinking and there was a fight. Chairs and plates were being thrown. People were very angry. It was shocking to see, and some of the staff and passengers were scared and had to hide, said the anonymous crew member. Good Morning Britain chief correspondent Richard Gaisford was also on the cruise and tweeted that he was alerted to a problem when an announcement was made around 2 a.m. for security to come to the restaurant on the ship's 16th floor. And then it goes on to talk about how violent, unfortunately, the fight got. He added that the altercation allegedly began when the individual arrived in the clown costume, which upset another passenger because they'd specifically booked a cruise with no costume party. The journalist went on to describe the scene he found when he went to the restaurant and included information that 2 people suspected of taking part in the brawl had been confined to their cabin for the final day of the cruise. Okay, so this has so much that we need to talk about here. There is so much here. Where do I begin? Okay, so often when I talk about these current events stories, people always make excuses for the bad behavior, and excuses that I often hear are related to socioeconomic background and all that sort of thing. So a lot of people say, well, people with poorer backgrounds, this tends to happen in their communities. Some people attribute these arguments to race, and that is just totally wrong, because bad behavior is seen from all sorts of different types of people, different backgrounds of people, different races, different socioeconomic backgrounds as well. And that's my message here. I am certainly not here to shame any one particular group of people. What I like to do here is to examine the trends in our society and kind of analyze what is behind it and how etiquette actually plays a role in all of them, okay? So this is a cruise ship that was sailing in Europe, and it was going to Norway. And it's not about the type of people on board. And I just have to say that if you are on a cruise, you have a certain amount of money. So this is not particularly a very poor group of people. In fact, this altercation took place at a black tie event. So my point with all of this is to say that bad manners, bad choices, bad etiquette transcends all types of people, all groups of people as well. Just because you are in a certain class of people or a certain economic background doesn't mean that you are not going to have etiquette or behavioral problems. Do you see what I mean? So that's what I wanted to say with this post. Now, this is what is so interesting. So apparently, and we don't know the full story, all of this is just allegedly what happened. There was a black tie dinner on the cruise, which let's be honest, people do not go on cruises every day. Most of the families there were probably saving up all year long to go on this cruise, really looking forward to it. Maybe some people were on their honeymoon or anniversary cruise, or they just wanted to have, you know, just a beautiful time, right? Just like the Disneyland thing. Okay, I just have to parallel these two situations. So the people who were at the Disneyland situation, Disneyland is expensive, and some people probably flew from out of town, out of state to come to Disneyland, and then they have to witness that, right? So let's go back to the cruise ship. So they're at a black tie event, and everybody is dressed up. They have formal attire on. You expect to have a very refined evening, right? That's what you're paying for. Somebody comes in dressed as a clown. Okay, I don't know what the deal is with this. I don't know. Maybe he just, it's like Bridget Jones' Diary when she got the memo wrong and she came in fancy dress. Maybe he saw fancy dress and he thought that he was supposed to come in a costume. I don't know. I don't know what was behind this person's motives for dressing as a clown. Or maybe he just wanted to troll all the people there. I don't know. But his presence apparently disturbed these people who had come to have a refined evening. And so a fight broke out. So that's what is allegedly what I take from the articles that I have read on the subject today. Okay, so you know me, I am always talking about this, how we should dress appropriately for different occasions because what we wear matters, right? What we wear to the theater matters. What we wear to graduations matter. What we wear to our child's performance matters. What you wear to a black tie dinner, clearly it matters, right? And so this is why you can't really come dressed in whatever you want to. You can, but there might be a fallout from it. Now, I do not condone violence or even shaming of any type of behavior. I talk about this on my YouTube channel because I think it's important to get the conversation out there and to just educate people who don't necessarily think about it that, you know, no, you shouldn't wear ripped yoga pants to your child's graduation, right? That's just, it's not respectful and it's just not a good idea. However, if I went to my child's graduation and I saw somebody in ripped yoga pants, I would not say a thing. I would just keep it to myself because at that point, you do not need to shame the other person. You don't need to make them feel bad. You just need to be the example yourself. So these people who were at this black tie dinner, yes, they could have been annoyed that this person came dressed as a clown, but at that point, you need to rise above your annoyance and just enjoy the evening, whatever that means for you. And just don't worry about it. You know, the person who came dressed as a clown, if it was an accident, they probably felt very foolish, you know, and so there's no point getting into a heated argument with this person. So there's just etiquette breaches all around on this one. The person who was dressed as the clown, as soon as they walked into the black tie event and realized that their attire was inappropriate, probably should have went home and changed, okay, back to their cabin, but he didn't. So the people who were there and were upset that this person was dressed as a clown, at that point should have risen above it and ignored the situation and been gracious to the person. Everybody could just laugh about it, you know? And that's it. These are my thoughts. I don't know why in our society we are suddenly erupting into all of these angry, vicious public arguments. Violent ones too. There was another story about a woman who got kicked off an airplane for hitting her laptop on top of her fiance's head. Okay, this was just, I don't know why I'm laughing, just because there's nothing else to do. Why are we having such violent outbursts? Is it because of the media that we're consuming? We're just becoming desensitized to violence? I don't know what it is, but either way, violence is never appropriate. And I can understand why people feel disappointed when somebody comes to an event that you have high expectations for and, you know, they are not dressed appropriately. I totally get that. There's no reason then to lower yourself to their level and just, you know, get into an argument about it. Another final thing I want to say about the subject is I don't watch TV anymore. I'd definitely be open to watching high quality television. I'm not against TV, totally. I just don't have the time to watch it. But back when I used to watch TV, I noticed a very disturbing trend on shows like The Real Housewives, for example. I would notice these women who were very affluent, dressed up beautifully, had everything around them, riches, and they had the worst manners, swearing at each other in public, fighting each other in public. It turned me off so much that I really went off TV because that behavior was being glorified. And it seems like that is what was happening at this cruise ship. So as usual, I would love to hear your thoughts on all of these subjects. What do you think about this trend going on in society? Do you agree with me that we cannot continue to make excuses for this type of behavior, that I think that we should discuss it and call it out and provide an antidote and a way to react? Again, likely these people do not have good role models in their lives and they're just doing what they know. So we have to be that role model for society. Be sure to share this video with a friend and join in on the discussion in the comment section below. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time on The Daily Connoisseur. Bye!